welcome to another Facebook Live. As a little taste of the track we're going to look at today, which is Sirens from my album Saturn Returns. For anyone who doesn't know, my name is Giles Waithe, and I recently released an album called Saturn Returns, and you can get a copy on my website, which is gileswaithe.com. I'm going to put a little link now and in the comments. And you can also find it on iTunes, you can listen to it on Spotify. So yeah, do go ahead and check it out. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. We are today going to listen to the track Sirens from the album. And I'm going to give you my reactions to it and some little explanations for things as we go along. And the other thing is I'm trying out some new things today. I've got a better quality webcam. It's kind of getting there. Let me just adjust that. And I've also got a little lapel mic on rather than the way I did it last time, which I kept getting near and too far away from and things like that. So let me know about the quality. Hopefully it's better. And let's get started with the song. Okay, let's just get your view a little bit more zoomed in. There we go. So well, I guess the first thing to say about this song is it's one of the oldest ones. It's one of the first ones I came up with for this album. And well, the title Sirens comes from the Greek myth. So maybe you're familiar with that, but it's kind of, I don't know what they are really, creatures that would sing on the rocks and lure sailors in to come and crash on the rocks. So there's a bit of a theme there. I'm going to take these headphones off when I'm listening because it sounds a bit weird, but hopefully it sounds all right for you. So that intro was an interesting one, which I altered a little bit just as I recorded it. There's actually 3 guitars on there. There's 2 electric guitars playing the same bit, which was the bit I played to you at the beginning today, and there was also a slide guitar. I may have a slide here. I've got one. Yes, here we go. So just a slide playing on, but it was in an open tuning. I think it's the same tuning as Angels, which is Angel, sorry, one of the other tracks, but it's playing the same song. Yeah, it sounds quite weak like that, but in an alternative tuning, played that to kind of fatten out. So those 3 guitars make it sound big and powerful and echoey. And then we got that bass part, which kind of punches in and out at certain times, and reminds me a little bit of the theme tune to what is it? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You know, it's not actually any of the same notes, but it reminds me a little bit of that, and I really like that tune. It's actually played by the Eagles, I think, so I found out recently. So let's go back over that intro again, and again we've got another big drum fill here, like on all the tracks. Really, the kind of drum fills I like, quite signature. Let's go through that a little bit again. So yeah, a few interesting things there. So the drums were quite a challenge for me anyway, because they're quite fast and you're playing it with one hand on the hi-hat, and so that was a good thing. That was one of the things I had to work on this year, was speeding up my hi-hat technique, which I was really pleased I managed to do. And in fact, I remember it was on my list of things to do, and I was like, oh god, this is going to be a bit hard, because I could play it, but playing it fast enough was another thing altogether. And actually, weirdly enough, it happened as a consequence of learning other things. So I'd learnt loads of other things for the album, and I was like, right, I better go on with that, and then I could just do it. So that was a nice little present. And I like, when I listen back to that, I really like the contrast. You've got like the bass part, the bass guitar, and you've got the drums kind of really locked in, but the guitar's kind of super smooth over the top of it. So we've got that big section, and then you see it's all going to drop down for the next section. Let's just find where we are, where the verse. No, let me just try that again. Okay, that's not doing. Let's try it again. There we go. Let's play it through, and the vocal's going to come in. Yeah, so vocal there, it's got that, it's called slapback echo, which is the sort of thing you get on like an Elvis record, which I really wanted to have on here. So it kind of sounds quite big, but it's kind of contained. And you also, I think it's also on Money by Pink Floyd. It is on Money by Pink Floyd. So that was an inspiration as well to kind of get that vocal sound. And obviously you've got a kind of sort of reggae thing going on here. Not really sure where that came from, but I think it works well. And then within each like little segment of lyric there, you've got, it's supposed to be sort of peaking to, you know, I suppose it's, I notice sometimes when people are learning guitar, they get frustrated and it like, it kind of peaks, they hurry, they get annoyed, they hurry, they get annoyed, and then crash, oh, I can't do it. Then they relax again, and then try again, peak, crash. So it's supposed to be like that in this verse. It's like a little build up, then crash, build up, crash. So it's just sort of waves going on there, and the drums reflect that, which I think is quite fun. Let's go on to the next bit. So we're going to go back into the verse, not the verse, the chorus, which doesn't really have any lyrics. Let's carry on.
For a piece of your love and a place in a heart that was never really meant for me. Oh, never meant for me. Never meant for me. Never meant for me.
Yeah, so that was cool. I think again, I like the way the drums sort of sound quite stationary, but again, as the artist, sometimes I listen to these things and I can hear the mistakes in there. Hopefully you're not noticing, but I'm like, oh, could have maybe worked that out, like just little errors that could have been done slightly better. But then in practice, you kind of just have to get stuff done, and like it's only a little thing, so it's not a big problem. So we're going to come into the guitar solo now. Let's check that out. Yeah, I like that solo. It was supposed to be that really kind of, very kind of ripped into that particular segment. I suppose it's quite sort of staccato the way it does it. And it's almost, it's supposed to be a bit reminiscent of, so I suppose, like R&B tracks where you've got like a... So yeah, there's a little aspect of that, but it's obviously more sort of brutal and harsh. And then we get to that bit, and then it's going to soften. Little mistake there. And as it softens at the end there, we've got can't remember what the proper word for it is, but if I ever knew, a proper, like the tempo just stops, which is it's not super rare, but it's an unusual thing to do in a kind of rock pop track or whatever that is. I'd say a rock track, because yeah, you just don't do it very often. So what I had to do there was just let the guitar stop in its own time and then leave a big gap before the band comes in, and then just later drag it, drag the whole all the song to fit in with where the guitar wanted to finish, so it goes kind of out of time with the grid. If that makes any sense to you. So we're going to come back into the song now. Let's have a listen. So you can really hear the guitars there, and so I wanted to leave the bass out to just let those shine for a bit. I think it's nice to have that contrast, so that when it comes back in it sounds more powerful again. Let's just hear that again. And there we get a little taste of just the slide guitar. It's got a nice sound. It's an open E tuning, I think. Let's carry on through the song to verse 2.
Your siren call held me deep inside till I made my getaway. Is this the love that you show when you say that?
Yeah, I like listening to the vocal now because it's kind of calm. You've got this kind of crazy storm of stuff going on. The vocals just sort of chilling on top of it. Like I said, I suppose the sound was a bit inspired by Elvis, and I like the way Elvis is just, he's always pretty chilled out. He's kind of very in control of what's going on. He's not getting involved with the big drum fill in Hound Dog or whatever. He sings through it, and I like that. I think it's kind of probably similar to what I was talking about with Money as well. The vocal's quite kind of calm, and Dave Gilmour's always super calm when he's playing, always really relaxed. Whereas when I'm playing drums on this, is super involved. Let's carry on to the next bit.
Phone and you leave me waiting there in vain. Oh, you say I want to hear, but your actions are really nowhere near. I don't think that you really know where I'm coming from. Oh. Where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from.
I think one of the advantages, like listening to it there, one of the advantages of being able to play everything myself was, like when I wanted a fill or something, I could get everything to fit in. So like if you listen to the fill at the end of the verse going to the chorus, you can hear that the bass and the drums just play in perfect synchronization. I'll try and find that.
Where I'm coming from. You really know where I'm coming
So here we go. You'll hear they both go off at the same time.
from. Oh.
So the drums do a fill, and then the bass just sort of mirrors the same thing, because you do have a little bit of pitch with drums, not a lot, but obviously if you're hitting a smaller one it's higher and a larger one it's lower, and so if you're going around the kit you can go down on the bass and it fits in. So yeah, nice little touch there, I think.
Where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from.
It's probably is the shortest track on the album, this, and I was quite intentional just to make it short, to the point, and I think it's good to have that when you've got some longer tracks on the album as well. And yeah, I'm very proud of this one. I think it works very well. Alright, so that's the end of today's reaction video. I hope you've enjoyed it. if you do want to do something to support the project and support me doing it, then please just share it with anyone you think would like it, and have a listen to it as well on Spotify. And if you don't have a copy, you can grab one. All right, guys, thanks for watching.